Welcome back to episode 3 of Small British Steps, and we're in the research facility at the moment because we're going to spend some of the science we got in the last episode. So we got a total of 8.4 science from that mission, and we got a load of reputation and confidence and so forth. So we're doing well. We're doing well there. What we do have to look at is we've got 8 points of science, which means we can now take the early material science. And now I came in here to show you. You can see here we've got engineer efficiency upgrade. It actually says there that basically improves everything. Yeah, it makes it quicker for integrating vehicles and constructing new facilities, but importantly, increases minimum efficiency or for launch complexes by 10% and maximum efficiency by 35%, additive with other upgrades. So potentially, if we can go up to 30 at the moment, does that 35% mean it goes up to 65%, or does it mean it goes up 35% on top of what it currently is, which would be about going up to about 40%? I don't know, but that's good. And then later on, the other one we're going to have to get is this one, which we'll need before we go to orbit. And that does it again. It does the 25% and then 35% there. So yeah, if they add together as 60, that takes us up to 90. And then do they continue? We got 5% there, and we've got a 10% there, and a 20% there. So that's interesting. These middle ones don't go much at all. Right, so we're going to take that. That's going to take a big chunk of time. And what I wanted to show you was, if we actually look in here, if we click on early rocketry, you can see we've used up all of our credits on that arc now. When we do a bit more research, we will build them up on that arc. But if we look down here, where are we? Here. Yeah, you can see we haven't finished researching early tracking yet, but we can see the unlocked credits have actually started to build up already. I mean, it also tells us the ETA of 52 days. That's quite nice, isn't it? 141 days, 376 days. That's a beast. That's a year. That's a year just getting that, and that is a big one, which means that one's going to be big as well. So we need to take those into consideration. But let's have a look at our combined list. We have got in between episodes. Yeah, I noticed that. I'm guessing since they've changed the progression of the sign and rocket contracts, I believe, and I probably read this somewhere and forgot about it, that they changed the sounding payload to always be, I think, 75. So, or at least a standard value, which is better than it moving up and down. It makes it a bit easier for you. But we've got the 100 there, and then because it had started building, and then I basically retooled one. It's cost us about 100 funds actually. Retooled one to take us down to a 75 unit, so that should hopefully just lighten that, and it means it potentially has a higher range. Also, I slowed down our atlatl complex just because I realized that if we finished it at say 100%, even though we could afford it, even if we run at zero sort of funding increase, if we'd have done that, we'd have actually ended up with a situation whereby we'd have finished the launch complex, we'd be paying for it, but we couldn't build anything in it because we wouldn't have the funds to actually tool the craft to go on there. So we need about almost 18,000 to actually tool and build our first craft. So that's something for us to take into account. Next step was staffing. We're still sitting on these staff. That's not a big issue. We're going to use those staff when we get the next complex up and running. And we also need some staff for that, which will be useful. Funding situation. Daily we're on 57 funds. That's because we're basically pumping some into that construction. That's taking, so we're looking at about 80 to 90 funds a day once that construction's finished, which means we can hire a couple more technicians and things like that. And then after we get the technicians set up, what we'll actually do is slow down the building rate on that first line. We'll probably take about 10 people off that, dump them into it, and then we'll start to pay for enough staff and things like that, get the rate up on it, and see how quickly we can build things. Right, so with that done, I think we're going to do a lot of launches here. We've got the darts to get going, we've got this early tracking systems to get done, but that's just something that needs to get out of the way. Early science needs to be done as well, but again, we're not in a hurry for that. It's really getting us down to these two. This is the big one. It's going to take a year to do, so we want to get to that as quickly as possible. So let's get ready, launch the next dart, and see what happens. So as we can see, the next dart is actually going to not launch yet because we've still got about 15 days to wait. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to let it run. We're going to wait until this tracking is done. Because we're not in a hurry, otherwise we end up with too many of them in the way sort of situation. We're going to let the tracking run, then we'll launch that dart. We can roll it out. It's going to take 2 days. We'll do that. We'll get the tracking science done, which gives us the access to the next bit of tech, which is that biological payload. So we can actually start stacking those up when we get to that point. So there we go. We've got that done. Now we can actually have a look and see, have we got this mission ready? It's on 94. It's at full capacity. We've got to take it 75 units to 140 kilometers. We'll take that. Thank you very much. And of course, the timer is now started on it. So that's going to be 90 days. So if we have a look at this, we've got the return in 14. That's the thing. What I think we might want to do is we're going to end up stockpiling a lot of these and then pulling them back. So I think what I'm going to do, and this is a bit of an odd one, I'm going to go to engineers. We're actually going to drop this. I'm going to drop it until they take 45 days at least. Yeah, 47 days is probably better. Because these return ones, we need to give them time to do stuff. That already is going to be, what if it's 60, 70 days, it's going to have a 20-day lag. So we'll just do, in fact, you know what, we could just do like that. There we go. That's probably going to be better. We're going to take some more of those out of there. Has that actually improved our situation on a day-to-day basis? It has. So these unassigned ones actually, they cost less. Oh, that's good. That's good to know. So we are actually going to save up a bit of funds quickly, and we're almost actually at where we need to be. So we can start thinking about material science now and getting, not material science, about the atlatl thing in 30 days. We should have enough to actually prepare the first craft, and we've got staff to start building it, hopefully. Right, so let's go and we'll do a night launch. Let's launch this thing at night. Right, it is the night, and we're going to have a nice dark launch for this, so let's. This is going to be really exciting, isn't it, in the dark? Right, let's fire the engine, get going. So first stage, there we go, we're off we go. All we're aiming to do is get to 140, which I think was the target last time as well, wasn't it? So it's like the intermediate ones pauses at the challenging ones range or something. It'll be interesting to see where it progresses after this, because I know they've played around with it to make it a bit more sort of interesting. Right, there we go, and we're off we are again. Now there we go, stuff exploding. Now, the thing I really want to look at is this. Yeah, look, so we are getting data points, but not many, because this is only running for about 50-something seconds. So we are getting data, it is improving, but it's not getting a huge amount. But it is helping us, it's getting stuff going. So, you know, long time mean time between failures is really high. But we've got one engine. In the future, we're going to be running multiple of these engines, so any data we get now is massively important. We're going to leave that up until this engine goes out, just because I want to see how far we get up to. I'm predicting we're going to get to about 500 or near 500, something like that, if it gets all the way. What we'd actually like is an engine failure about now, because we are above the altitude we need to get to on the Peroxide, and an engine failure would give us a big dump of information, which would be better than the engine just running. Right, so sometimes an engine failure late on in flight, early on like this, might actually be useful. Right, so that's going to be all right. We're going to be getting up there. Science situation, let's have a look. So as we buzz all the way up there, it would be really good to get your feedback on the series so far. Do you like the flow of the series? Would you like it to just be really rap launches early on? I will do this episode, we'll probably do some pretty quick sped up launches just to get them out of the way, because there are a lot of similar launches until we get to things like, you know, our first film camera and things like that, which will be hopefully quite easy. There we go, we've got science coming in 4 minutes, that's going to take. What did the altitude we got to? 263. Okay, so we're going to just pop that up there. We'll take this, we'll complete this, well done. What's this done for us? It's gone up again. We love a bit more, so this is getting us more fun. So we're up to 33,791 yearly sub. We are losing 10 a year though, but this rocket basically has covered us for a year by giving us 10 reputation, which is nice. And you can see we're also gaining in the confidence stakes because we're getting science up to 231 now, which is nice. Yeah, is it going? Oh, so you're getting like 0.4 for every 0.1. Oh, that's really nice. So it's not a 1-to-1 either. I quite like that. I wonder if there's something in settings for that. Right, we're going to let this keep going. This might actually finish this research. looking at it, I think we might actually finish the pressure and temperature scan research, which would mean technically I could remove them from future rockets, but I tend to lose them on, just in case the craft goes a bit idle off to one side or something. We end up going over a biome we've not seen before, which is possible. We do have a shores and water biome nearby, even though it's in the middle of Australia. I think it's to do with some glitching with the formation of like land that's below sea level and things like that. So it basically gets classed as something. There we go. That's science done. So I think there's no real reason for us to keep hold of this. Let's have a look. Have we got any data being transmitted? We do not. So we can just arrange safety it before it re-enters. There we go. And back to the base. So we got a big chunk of science there. I think that took us four science up, but we won't be able to get as much science in future. We've used up the nice easy science near Earth space situation. We're going to have to start looking further afield. We may have to send some craft on a bit of a diagonal strafing run to try and get it. We could potentially play around with that later. We do have the film return and the biological experiment. We need to get the first of those done quickly, because once they're done, the timer on the second one starts, and the second one is the one that we actually get a lot of reward for. So we want to get those done nice and early. Also, because once we close off that program, we won't have those anymore. So we're going to go for that. Right, so the next one of these is 75 units to, oh, it's not moved up. That's interesting. Is it supposed to just do that? So we can just fire that all day. We could move up, but if I move up, do I get like a bigger thing? I mean, it's not progressing upwards. We could just keep firing those, surely. So we got 10 last time. We'll see what happens when this gets to 90, whether it's the same reward or not. One thing we haven't done, and we should have, is actually looked in here, because we can take a leader, and I was thinking, don't want confidence program activation, cost of research salaries is down 15%, reputation to remove an existing leader. I quite like this. Funding costs for research salaries drops. So you can basically get more researchers, which would be a nice one. Alternatively, we reduce research speed and add reputation from science by 10%. But then we lose deadlines and things like that. Let's have a look. This suborbital. See, the problem is it would affect this as well. And I would like this to run for 9 years, actually. This would shorten and it would take it down about 5 years. I don't feel the need to do that. And normally I would. Normally I'd go with Milton. But this 20% is quite high. So I wonder whether we do something else. We've got Werner, whose confidence from contracts, reputation from contracts goes up. Reputation loss. The reason I'm doing it now is because we're about to get contracts with lots of reputation potentially and lots of things like that. Science transmission goes up. Reputation loss from reputation gain goes down. I think I want to go with Glushko. 10% more to remove a leader. Reputation from contracts is higher. Is that reputation? I can't remember which one's reputation. Just a quick check. That's reputation. I want higher reputation. That's what we're driving for. So Glushko is quite nice. And then we lose a bit more at the end. And we reduce the salary cost. I think we're going to choose Glushko here. It's probably not a great idea. I'd normally go with Milton, but we'll go with Glushko and see what happens. There we go. There we go. Right, he's got to retire. He retires in 10 years if I don't do anything. If we remove him, we've got 365 days before we can put him back in. But I think we're going to leave him. We could just leave him until everything goes, to be fair. Right, so let's have a look at active programs. That's good. What's that done to the old finances? Oh, that's given us a bump, hasn't it? So we got a bump anyway. But now we've got a bump as well because we've lost a research cost as well. Right, so I think next steps, we're going to rush forward, get the Dart 9 return ready, and I shall launch that, and then we'll see about getting that back, and that should hopefully give us a big chunk of science. Right, it's the 18th of November in our first year, 1951, and we're going to launch the Dart 9 return. You know what, not much to say. We're going to try and bring it back. Let's just fire the engines and get going. So first set away, we are up, we are going. So the aim of this is just to get it into space and get it back again. I do not need to overshoot, is what I need to be aware of. we don't want to go too high. We just want to, we've got all the science from space. We just want to grab something that's been in space. So we're going to get this going up. We're going to start our engines now, nice and early. We have an engine failure. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to pop those off, and then we're going to pop the parachute, and we'll at least get part of the craft back. I wonder whether we've just failed to do something proper. Oh no, I think I probably did that on purpose. I do like offset parachutes so that the thing falls over, but not so much in this situation. Right, I'm going to get this thing down. Alright, so we've got a grand total of 32 funds back. We got no science, nothing out of that. So what's this mean? Well, I want to put up another one. We've got that one building. We're gonna duplicate that. We're gonna move that up. Now, what you will notice is I have repositioned these. I put a bit of a lag in. So we've got this one here. We're gonna build first. Then we've moved the Dart sounding rocket to below that, and that's going to give us a nice lead in. And then this should hopefully mean that once this one's gone, we can actually change these other ones, if we're still doing them, to be 90 days. So we're not wasting staff and things like that. That's what we're going to do anyway. Right, let's have a look. So total combined, I suppose we'll roll forward a couple of days and then sort out our atlatl pad. Alright, so here we are. If you look on the top right here, I've actually moved through the... Oh, go switch to launch complexes. So we can move through the Dart and the atlatl there. We can move between them. And you can see the atlatl is for 11 to 15 tons. It fits this craft beautifully. Has all the fuel, everything we need. In fact, let's just check. Yes, it does have the fuel. So this is going to be atlatl O2. Atlatl O1 is actually just this, but with sounding rocket on the top. So that's where the O1 comes from. And it has different fin configuration. There is also a sounding rocket version where it doesn't have control core. This is going to be our first craft with actually controlling avionics. So this is going to go up. We're going to take the camera return mission when we're ready to do this. And then we're going to go for it. Now, we should be able to do this first time out. I'm hoping we don't have to do it a couple attempts, because it'll basically block up our ability to take other contracts, I think. I don't think when we've taken this, we can actually take a sounding rocket one. Anyway, let's have a look. We've got a load of tooling to do. We're going to just do this. So we've got the tanks here are, let me just get rid of that thing there. The tanks here are 1 meter wide, so the whole craft is 1 meter. We've got a slightly larger fairing just to fit that camera. I know there's a debate at the moment in the Discord and things like that, and in the GitHub, about whether the camera should actually be this big for this task. And well, whatever it is. At the bottom, we're building on our multiple engine technology we have with our first stage at the moment, and we've got 5 of these Spectre engines. We've changed our fin design a little bit to be a little bit simpler, a little bit more sturdy. And then at the top here, we've got our first ever fairing as well. We are using a near-Earth avionics that has not had any improvements to it. We currently haven't unlocked any of them, I don't think, which we could in the future. In fact, yeah, we're not going to get to that point, are we? Here's the thing, actually. Let's have a look. When is early science? Yeah, that's not worth it. That would give... I don't even think it gives us an upgrade at that point, so it's not really worth it. So we're not going to wait off on that. Anyway, let's do the thing at stuff and things. If we tool all, actually let's go to max. If we tool all, you can see it drops it. It drops it to about 117 days when we've got a maxed out facility. So we're going to tool it all. We're gonna purchase all the tooling. There we go. It takes it down to 700, and then the fun bit. Let's see. I want to go and make sure that we've bought everything that we need to buy. Well, luckily we actually have a little marker here that tells us unlock cost 5 funds, which is really nice for us. Actually, it actually just tells you, yeah, you got 5 funds. If you want to unlock it, there we go, 5 funds. So we've got the film camera, procedural hollow payload thing, 1, 2, 3. I think the film camera, no, it's in the start node, isn't it? So it doesn't count. All of this stuff, medium clamps, all that boat tail, I'll spend that 5 funds. You know what? I'm willing to do that. And we're going to save it, and I am going to, let's have a look. So that's now in the build queue, is it? So if we click down here in operations, and you can see it is in the build queue, but we're going to put something else in the build queue as well. The second thing I really want to put in the build queue is this, the lateral O2 bioreturn. However, and this is the difficult bit, it's got 1,000 unlock cost because I need to unlock that. So we're actually we'll do that now while we're looking at it, so I can show you. So to unlock that, we're going to do that, and I want to click off that, don't I? Where is it? Biological sample, purchase the unlock cost. It's going to be 0. There you go. Also, we should really do that because having those unlocks might be just useful in the future. So that's that done, paid for, which is nice. Do that again. We've got the advanced bio that we need to do at some point. I'm going to have to tool some tankage for this around this little structure here. So that's going to cost me a bit because it is a different diameter to what we've used, which is a little annoying actually. I'm surprised it's so expensive, but equally it is high pressure, and we don't think we've used any high pressure yet. So that's going to be an annoyance. It's going to cost us, actually going to cost us to tool, yeah, 3,911, which is annoying, but when we get to that, we'll pay for it. It's not a problem. We've got 1,800 in the bank, and currently we're looking at gaining 100 and something. So in a month, we'll probably have that. Yeah, we'll have more than that in a month. However, if we look in here, we will see that currently our camera return craft is on infinite because, of course, it does not have anybody doing anything. So we've got 10 applicants from before, 6 that are unassigned from there. We're just going to pop these in here and we'll start doing stuff. We can hire for free those 10 applicants. We're going to get those. Those are freebies. We're going to put those in there as well. Okay, so that now takes that up to being 500 odd days. That is not great for us, but you know what? We can hire some people in the future. We've just got to get it going. You can see we can have up to 77 crew engineers in there. We're going to try and get up to 77. The researchers are going to leave as they are. So yeah, we've got only 27 engineers. Let's actually have a think. Do we need that many on the other one? I think we'll leave that as is. Our budget currently is looking quite healthy, so we could afford to purchase a couple. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna go against my better judgment. I'm gonna hire a few of them. There we go. Just that many. Just that. So the 4. So that takes it up to 20. Just to try and reduce that time a bit. But to be fair, we're paying for the complex. We're paying for the staff. The sooner we build things, the better on that one. So we're gonna condition that there. We're going to prepare another return craft, and what we'll do is we'll run that forward, and you'll see we've got 5,000 funds now. So what we could do is we can actually go back in. I'll go back in and we'll produce a film return one. And of course, when I mean film return, I mean biological sample return. So we've now got the camera return, or the film return, and we've got the biological return ready. If one of them fails, the next one will be ready building, which is good. We've still got a little bit of funding after doing that, so I can pop in here and buy a couple more staff and just pop that up a little bit more. Our aim now is just to get that to 77, however we do it. Keeping an eye on this, we're down at 99 funds per day. That's not terrible. That's actually pretty good, isn't it? So let's launch this Dart 9 return. Let's do it in the daytime again. Well, this feels familiar, doesn't it? I think the last time we got to about 5 kilometers up. So let's see how we do this time. Engines are go. We are launching. We are off. That first stage is actually, you know, I'm saying it now, it's about to go wrong, isn't it? I was about to say it's exceedingly reliable, but it will only take one failure and the whole program will be in disarray because we've hit the VAB and everything's exploded. Right, so we're getting up to that time. We're going to start it a little bit early. There we go, and fire away. Right, okay. We had an ignition that time. That's good. And we are on our way up. So all we need to do is keep in mind on the altitude we want to get to. I'm thinking 170 kilometers. I'd be happy with 170 kilometers. I don't need this thing to... This is purely a science return mission, and the second one of these is going to be the same. It's literally just to grab some science for a return vessel. And in actual fact, I don't know why I'm doing it, because we're about to launch a film canister and things into space and return them. So they're actually going to do the mission for us. But in fact, I might cancel the next one of these. In fact, I probably will. We'll look at the timings on everything, and we'll probably cancel it. Kill that there. There we go. Right, we are on our way up. We actually had an engine problem there. What's the engine problem? It doesn't have one, but we're showing as a problem. Maybe we've got instability in the fuel. Is that right? Let's have a look. Engine, propellant, very stable. I wonder why. Why is it showing coloured like that? If anybody knows why it's like an orangey colour, it's not like a yellow hazard or anything like that. It's like an orangey colour. I'd love to know why, because we're not showing any problems with it. Right, so we're up at a decent altitude now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just get rid of that like so. And then this thing, we're going to arm the parachutes on. And we can just whiz it up there. And all we want it to do is to get into space. That's all we're aiming for it to do. All the way up, on you go. And this thing should just come straight back down. Isn't it interesting? It looks so blue. Looks so blue. You can barely see. There we go. Now we can see Australia. You've got to get really high, and then you can see the horrible desertiness of it. The outback and all that sort of stuff. I don't know what. I'm guessing Woomera is quite sandy looking. One of the flattest continents, Australia. I think it's because it's the oldest, isn't it? Something like that. Least tectonic activity, so it's the oldest continent. It's the oldest continent with the flattest surface and all that, which makes Ayers Rock more impressive, or shall we call it Uluru? Is it Uluru? I think it's Uluru now. All right, the parachutes are ready. We're just gonna fire this through the atmosphere, and hopefully it will slow down. Hopefully, and again, we're not getting any science for this. It's these are all stopped. There's no point doing it. There's no science available to it. Could have actually put them on. Should have put them on, in fact. Right. Firing it on down through, and there we go. Oh, look, the land reappears. We have got this bit of water here. This is what I was talking about before. There is a piece of water, so we could potentially get over water over shore as biomes, but that involves going sideways, and if we run out of options, I may do that. We'll see. Right. Get this thing all the way down. Look at that, perfectly. Slowing itself down because it's blunt body approach, which we should probably use. This is a nice test lesson for future returns. Oh, things are exploding. That's all of the parts of the rocket coming down. I'm just waiting for the rest of it to come down and hit us on top. That nose cone, because we go straight up, has always a concern that it comes back down and smacks us. Another reason to have that decoupler on the top as a little protection. And then, of course, we've got the odd shape because we've got a sort of flared decoupler on the bottom there, which is, I'm not entirely sure it's the correct way to do aerodynamics, but that's the way we're doing it. So we're going to come down. Those are going to open up any second. There we go. And we've got about 300 odd meters to go. So I will, because we've already landed one of these, I shall see you back at base. Right, and with that we got 5 science, yay, which takes up to 9. So we're actually almost at the point where we get the next interesting material science node that we want to grab. So that's a positive. That's the reason we did it. Not much else coming out of it. I'm now thinking we're going to cancel that dart there. I think not that, the return one. In fact, I am. I'm going to cancel that. So we're going to scrap that. Yes, we do. And then we're going to have a look in here and go, right, what have I got? We've got intermediate. That's almost ready to do. Okay. I am wondering, is it going to be... Yeah, it's going to be the same. And then this one's going to be bigger, but it's going to take us to 220. I'd love to know if we do this one, does it move up this one permanently to this next height? I don't know, because I could just keep doing these over and over again while we're doing other stuff, and it's just going to keep rolling in some stuff, and I'm quite happy with that. Actually, that's not a killer for me. We're going to put hardly any crew on it. So what we'll do is we'll rush this one through, and then once this is done, we'll drop the others down to 90 days, I think is what we'll do. So we'll get rid of some of the crew off those. We're going to get rid of this one. We're going to scrap it straight away. There we go. And then what we will also do, we're going to combine. What else have we got going on? We'll finish that to see what funds come in. We've got this one coming in 8 days, which is fine. That's coming in. Early science is going to do what for us? It's going to give us the advanced biological sample, which would be useful to have. So I think I want to hire some more people, but they also need to save up. So we need to hire some more people to get these being built without overdoing it. So let's hire 3. just to keep that number going up. There we go. Oh, look, we jumped a bit. Where is it? What's going on? There's the camera. Oh, it jumped up to there almost insignificantly. Yeah. Oh, I've added them to the wrong one. 1, 2, 3. That's why we've done it wrong. Oh, actually, you know what? We could do that. We'll do that, and then we'll pull it back down, because that'll get that done quickly, and then we'll be on track with the others. That's actually not so bad. That was entirely what I meant to do. That's exactly what I was planning on doing, because we're basically, that's going to put us on schedule for doing these in a reasonable time. Right. I'm going to warp that. Then we're going to play around with stuff. So we're going to do that. I'm going to roll that out, and then we're going to play around with our staffing again. So this is the dart complex. We're going to take this down until our darts take about 90 days. We want to be over 90 days. Let's have a look. 60, 70, 85. The next one's going to do it 102. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Every 102 days we have a dart ready to go. That's not a problem. Which gives us nine more people to put into here. There we go. That takes that to be about 269 days. We need to keep pumping that up, don't we? So what we'll do is we'll hire a few more of these. I want to take it to let's get us down to, oh, we've used all our funds. Okay. There we go. That's taken that all the way down to 165. I'd like to get this full. I'd like to be able to rattle these out, because we can then just move the engineers around if we need to. And also that's going to get more efficient, isn't it? In fact, let's have a look. What's the efficiency? The efficiency of the dart is nice, but this is only 16. So you see the dart is so much more efficient right now. And in fact, it's going to get even more efficient. So that time will drop. So yeah. Right, we've got 71 funds a day. In a month we've got 2,000 whatever. We're going to continue to pump up this, because we're getting 35,000, 10 off every year, but that's not a problem. Right, let's get the dart out, fire that up there. We have to remember to take the contract, so this one's going to give us, I am tempted to take this because it gives us a big bump on normal, but yeah, we'll take this one, which should give us a grand total of, oh yeah, that's going to be okay, it's going to give us a little bump. We have another just generic launch. We're going to rattle this one off nice and quickly, get it done as quickly as possible. So we're going to rush it through the first stages there. We're going to go speedy, get it down to about now. Get ready to fire that engine. Engine fires, and off we go. That's good. And then we're going to speedy it up again and just get this thing up there. So this is going to be my life for the next, every 100 days in this game now. We have to do one of these, because we can. So there we go. I'm going to run this all the way to the end of its fuel supply. Hopefully it'll take it over the target. Yes, it will. Takes it to 277. So that other one is at 240 or 250, is it, that it's aiming for? 220. So these would easily go over 220. So I am tempted if we get another one of these. There we go. That's done. Completed. Wonderful. Are we doing any science? No, we're not. We're going to range safety it, and we are done. So we are back, and yeah, we've got our stuff done, but I'm just looking here. So yeah, we've got another 140, so we can just fire those off constantly in the background. We really want to get the film and the biological experiment done as quickly as possible, so the timers on those can begin, because we could get some big funding out of that once. So let's have a look. We've got some funds. We can hire some more staff. There we go. Put some more staff on it. There we are. You can see the dart is at 96 days. The next dart is 102, so that is dropping a little bit as the efficiency goes up. You can see our film canister is now up at 150 days. How exciting. It is February, so we're going to warp forward a bit. We've got even more funding. We can see our actual... our reputation has gone up again. We're losing 12 a year now, but we're covering that with 1 or 2 of those launches every 100 days. So we're still going to break even if we don't do anything other than those. We could just sit on our funds right now and just do that. Right, that's looking good. We can get some more staff. Let's actually check the funding. Yeah, we're okay. So let's get some more staff. Hire 2 more staff. Put them in this one here. There we go. We're up to well past 50% full now. The efficiency's going up as well. So we're up at 130 days. So a total for one of these 185. That's a big drop, isn't it? I really like that. As the efficiency goes up and we put more staff in, it's just going to get better and better. Let's get early science done. That's nice as well. That gives us another few thousand. Our scientists have figured out how to do mass spec. Ooh, now, do we want to strap a mass spec onto something? I think the mass spec takes an absolute age to do his experiments, doesn't it? It doesn't say, does it? 2 hours. 2 hours to do experiments. We're not going to be doing that until we send something up. And I believe, is it data? It is data, so it can be transmitted. So we're going to put it on a satellite when it goes up. We do, however, have this here, which is our lovely advanced biological capsule. I'm not going to take it yet because I'd really like to see about, can I upgrade that core? I think I want to do that. Yeah, and that will use the parent one. And then this one, I don't really want to use the parent one for. So I really would like to save that. We'll hold off on that. I don't know if it uses the parent funding first or the unlock credit, the maximum unlock credit first. I don't know. Anyway, we're still short on getting the 10 we need for this. We've got 3 for that though, so we could actually look at that. But I'm not in a hurry yet. Not in a hurry just yet. Right, with that in mind, we're going to run this forward to finish this. We'll get that done. We'll get some more scientists, some more builders hired, so we'll get a few more of these. There we go. Gentlemen, would you like to join the team? There we go. Get yourselves in there. We've got 110 days on that. We're going to launch that one soon. Get that moved forward. And we've got a load more funding there. We can put some more staff on, can't we? We can hire some more. So let's see. Ooh, we can go up to 30 we could have, but let's take it to like let's take it to 20. There we go. Let's put them all into there. Whoa, look at that. Now what are we looking like for? We could still get a bit more in there. Put one more in. There you go. So we've got 19, we get 9 spaces to fill, and then that's done. And we can see the build time for these is now 100 days. I am pretty happy with 100 days actually on a build time. I'm not in a hurry to put more staff into them just yet. Reason being, we're going to get efficiency increases. And also, if we do any sounding payloads with these big ones, then, not a problem. Right, we're going to roll that out and get that thingied. And I think this will be the final launch, because the next launch is going to be the camera return. We're going to do that at the start of the next episode. So let's get this one done. Choose the contract. What are we doing? We're going to do intermediate. 102 days. We get a bonus point there. We get all these things. We get 75 units. Do it there. Wonderful. And yes, it does block out the other ones. So we're going to have to be careful. If we mess up the camera return, we may end up have to wait for 100 days to do another one. So note to self, we're probably at the perfect time for that. Right, yeah, just launch it. Yeah, let's just launch it. Ready for our final launch of the episode. We're just going to get everything going. I'm going to hit that. We're going to launch that. I'm going to put it into double speed. How exciting. And then we're going to get ready. We're going to try and just not slow down at all for this. So we're going to go 3 now, start the engine and decouple. There we go. Superb. And then we're going to go faster. We're just going to go, you know what, I'm going 4 times. We're going to finish this nice and quickly. So we're just moving on up there. And we need to get to what, 150? It's done it. Yeah, that's done it. 140, it was easy. Right, so now we've just got to wait until it gets to it, and then we can come here. Where are we? Get that ready. Don't want to waste too much time, do we? Right, here we are. Done. Come on. Where are we? We done? Yes, we are. Mission complete here. Done. Superb. Right, so from me until next time, please comment down below. What do you want to see? What do you think about the flow of the lessons, the flow of the series? I don't want to spend too long on sounding rockets, so we'll probably just do quick bits like this in future if I'm doing the every 100-day ones. We have film canisters, we've got biological samples, we've got the advanced film ones, we've got a couple of different variants of the atlatl to come out, and then after that we will be going for downrange and orbit, and we'll probably be developing our downrange craft into our orbital craft. I'm not going to use the atlatl for the downrange. I don't think it's going to be capable. So from me until next time, have a great one. Yeah, we will range safety it. So if that was good for you, check out on the screen right now some links. You can see other videos you might like. Check out the channel, see if there's any playlists you like. There's also some links to other content creators there you might like, or leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, do all those things.